Hey everyone, this is John Gatto, the Sports Information Director at the University of Scranton. And today we continue our Royals Rewind segment with the 2019 Landmark Conference Softball Championship, in which the Royals won for the very first time, winning 3 games in one day back on May 4th, 2019. Joining us on the segment today will be 3 members of that team that are still here at the University of Scranton: Meg Zinn, Jennifer Sweeney, and Meghan Dowdell. A reminder to everyone out there to continue to follow us online. You can go to our website, athletics.scranton.edu. You can follow us on social media on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Royal Athletics for information as it becomes available as we go through the fall months here in the athletics department at the University of Scranton. So without further ado, here is this week's Royals Rewind. All right, now we're here with 3 members of that University of Scranton softball team that won the 2019 Landmark Conference title. Jen Sweeney, Meg Zinn, Meghan Dowdell. Guys, welcome. It's good to see everybody. But today we'll actually go back in time to that 2019 season. And let's start off really at the end of the season when you were going into the playoffs. Finished 28-15, 7-5 in the Landmark Conference, and you were the 4 seed going in. So you guys had to go on the road to Moravian, a team that you had been swept by during the regular season. And also another team that we're going to see during this was another team that swept us in the regular season games, both of which were at home, and that was Susquehanna. So, you know, Meg Zinn, if you want to start it off with kind of going into the tournament, what was the team's mentality going in? Did you guys think that you could really be a nuisance and potentially take this thing right from the start?
I think we liked our placement as the 4 seed, honestly. 3 might have been better, but I think it helped us climb the ladder a bit. When we looked at the tournament, I think we won 1 game out of 6 against the teams that were in the playoffs. So obviously they probably thought less of us than we thought of ourselves, but we were definitely comfortable going to Moravian. At least for me, that was 2 or 3 years that's where the playoffs have been. So I was comfortable being there. I think we were just confident going in, and we had nothing to lose being the 4 seed.
All right, cool. So obviously, like you said, you were swept by those 2 teams in the regular season. So you go into Friday, and really, we always say kind of in this profession that when you start the playoffs, everyone's 0-0. And our first game was against Moravian. We win 5-2 in that first game. An upset win, you could say. The 4 seed being the 1 seed. We scored 4 runs in the 5th inning in that game to win. But then in the second game that day, really, to kind of explain the format of the softball tournament, it's a double elimination tournament, and very rarely does a team that loses a game on Friday come back and win on Saturday. And unfortunately, we had a lead in the second game, let it get away. We lose the Susquehanna 9-6. Susquehanna scored 6 runs in the 6th inning in that game to win, to be the undefeated team in the championship game already at the end of the day on Friday. So really a high and low kind of day that first day. So I guess we'll start off with Jenna with this one. So after, you go through that kind of the mentality of the team, you have such a high at the end of that Moravian game. And then really at the end of the Susquehanna game, it's kind of a low, but at the same time, you still had a chance going into Saturday. So what was the team's mentality basically on Friday night when you guys were done? And then, knowing what you would have to do on Saturday to win the championship?
Overall, I think we had a pretty good mentality still. Like, we had just beaten Moravian, and although it wasn't the way we wanted it to be, we knew that we did beat them, and that it's definitely possible to do it again. So for the most part, we were all pretty positive that we could do it. We did make it a little bit harder, but it worked out.
Okay, now we're in the end, basically the end portion of that first game of the day against Moravian. So as I said earlier, for Scranton to win the championship, they would have to win 3 games because of the loss that they suffered at the end of the day on Friday. They would have to beat Moravian, the host team, the number 1 seed, again for the second straight day to get even into a championship round with Susquehanna, where they would have to beat Susquehanna twice. So we start the game off here, 6-5 in the bottom of the 6th inning. There is a runner on first base. And we'll turn up the audio here a little bit.
Duffy drives that one into the gap. Staniloa's unable to get there. Maybe not laying down the bunt was a plus, as Indelicato is going to come all the way around first. She's heading home, throws way over. And Duffy coming around. She's going to score as well, and the Royals take an unexpected lead here in the bottom of the 6th.
Describe kind of the atmosphere in the dugout at that point when, you guys have been battling with Moravian all day, and now you have taken a lead on them on really a kind of an unexpected kind of play.
It kind of was just proof that, if you make one mistake, like the announcer said, Duffy was supposed to bunt and she couldn't get the bunt down. But that mistake didn't matter because then she ended up driving in 2 runs off of their mistake. So it really just shows how we were just capitalizing off of each other and how that was the end result for us in that moment.
Stuff is in your control.
As you can see, the Royals have taken a 7-6 lead. And Heather Alec comes in with 2 outs, runner on first base. And she had a huge
3-2. Bowers got to go big here.
Tournament.
And that one hit high. That one's going way deep and over our scaffolding. A mammoth 2-run shot. 9-6. Now for the Royals.
Obviously, a freshman, Heather Alec, coming through in a huge spot in that position, hitting a 2-run home run to put us up 9-6 in the bottom of the 6th inning in an elimination game. Meg Dowdell, I'll ask you this is a freshman coming in a big spot and hitting a huge home run with 2 outs to put us up by 3 runs and which ended up being the final deficit in the game. Just talk about what it meant to have just a freshman come in this spot and contribute this much to an eventual championship for our team.
She's been such an impact player, ever since the beginning of the season. So, for us, we kind of didn't even consider her a freshman, especially during this weekend, the way that she just played through everything. We just always had such high expectations of her.
So now we go on at the top of the 7th. We are leading 9-6, and Meg Dowdell, you are in the game in a save situation, which is something that you necessarily did not do throughout the course of the year. But you came in and got it done in this position. They only have a runner
which one they're going to play,
and this is what's going to end up being the last bat of the season.
Cassidy on the ground, throw to first is in time, and the Scranton University Royals are heading to the Landmark Conference Championships, dethroning the Moravian College Greyhounds. So now it will be the championship game. Susquehanna University Riverhawks versus the Scranton University Royals.
Of course, we're the University of Scranton Royals, and Royals, not the Scranton University Royals. I'll correct the announcer there. But, guys, obviously, you've had some battles with Moravian over the years, and this really was a culmination of our program really kind of getting over the top and beating these guys and knocking them out of the playoffs on their home field. Just kind of describe the feeling of doing that and on their own field in a championship kind of situation.
Honestly, we've always said that they have always been one of our favorite teams to play just because we respect them and they respect us, and getting on top of them and beating them twice in that one weekend just really meant a lot for us. I know we talked a lot about playing on their field and how it kind of we got so used to it because we played the conference championships there the year before, then we were playing it there again. So just all together, it just felt really good having to beat them there.
Okay.
Moravian dropping both games in this
line, but now you guys got the celebration does not last long because now you have to get ready.
Top of the 6th, Meg Zinn.
And we were going to move ahead here in the game. Very kind of defensive-oriented game here in the first game. 2-0 lead, and really in the 6th inning, and both of these games that we're going to watch highlights from, the 6th inning turns out to be the middle innings, tend to be really the pivotal moments of the game. And in this position here, we see it's literally right when the broadcast comes back. So I'll reverse a little bit and then come back and
by
we'll
a score
watch.
of 9-6. Top of the 6th, Meg Zinn gets the Royals going in the right direction. Lear's not going to make the throw.
And
Scranton's got their first base runner aboard.
Single,
Zinn,
something that you've done a lot, obviously, throughout your career. And we'll see here kind of what happens from this point on.
So 2-2 still. Next pitch to Alec. Flies that one. He drives that one to right center. Ballsta's unable to get there. And Alec, who came up with a huge home run against Moravian, comes up with a huge 6th inning double. gives the Royals a 3-0 lead here in the top of the 6th.
So again, a freshman in that position coming through in a big spot, guys. That obviously for you guys had to be, again, to watch it. And Heather had a huge day on this day, and really a huge first season in the program. But to see a freshman come up big like that, again, had to really kind of boost the spirits of the team.
Sends that one to left field at the wall. It's over the wall for a home run.
So again, in this
almost
position,
up into the scaffolding here and left again. Casey DeSarno takes the trot around.
Casey DeSarno with a huge home run for us to put us up.
Scranton University Royals.
A deficit that Susquehanna was not able to come back from, as we'll see later on in the telecast. Meg Zinn, I'll ask you, your classmate Casey DeSarno, not someone that is known for hitting home runs, does one here in a really big spot against Susquehanna. She did it earlier on Friday in the Moravian game. She had a big home run also in that game as well. Just, kind of talk about how, you have a really good defensive third baseman, as we all know, but offensively coming through in a pretty big spot 2 days in a row for us.
I think she clearly did it for herself and for the team at that point. I think she was waiting, or her time was coming, and she picked the right time for it to come, obviously. I think that home run gave us a lot of confidence to finish out the game, and it was really exciting to see my teammate, or my classmate, one of my best friends, put this ball out. She kept that momentum going. That's what we were talking about before, that we needed to keep the energy up, and that home run in the top of the 6th, the game's almost over. That really helped us push our way to the end of the game.
The philosophy kind of, in batting and in a 2-out kind of, position, do you guys thrive off of that? Kind of what was really kind of the secret, I guess, in this game in both games, really all 3 games that we've watched here? What was kind of the secret for you guys in terms of your philosophy when there was 2 outs and trying to get something going?
I think the big thing is staying calm and staying confident, because the second that we started to overthink, or we would start to doubt ourselves, is when we wouldn't be successful. But we were all there, everyone was in the dugout supporting us, so that already helped boost our confidence, and it helped keep our energy levels high, so we had more faith in ourselves to get the job done.
All right, awesome. So we see now we move ahead to the 7th inning. Megan, you are, still on the mound in this game. You're gonna really, obviously, toe the mail, I guess you could say, in the pitching circle for this day, and especially in these last 2 games. Really put together a nice game. But in the 7th inning, Susquehanna comes back, and they score a few runs, and they have runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs, and the tying run is at the plate. So,
you move on to that
kind of in this position before we see the final few pitches of this game happen. It meant the mentality at this point. You are facing a good team, but they're starting to come back a little bit. So, kind of what was kind of going through your mind at this point?
I was just really trying not to think about anything at all. I really just knew that I had my team behind me in the field, and I trusted that they were going to make the plays.
It towards 3rd.
So I was just basing it off of that and not trying to think of anything else except just throwing a strike.
That's exactly
Throw
what
across the diamond is in time, and the Scranton University Royals have forced another game against the Susquehanna University Riverhawks.
Again, first win of the year.
Don't know if we'll have a
after 3 tries.
Quickened start time
between
these 2 teams, as there's no lights here at Blue and Gray, so we may need to quicken the pace and get the last game underway.
Just like very, very quick.
We'll see.
We've ever been at a softball championship.
It is
the next game happens very quickly, and in that championship game, we got on the board very quickly. And you'll see here as
a sacrifice bunt.
And you are at bat here.
And this one's going to hit a long shot off the left field fence. Fossbender gets it in quickly. There's going to be a play at 3rd. They go home instead. And the line drive shot by Sweeney gives the Royals once again a first inning 1-run lead.
It continues later in the
game. Delivery. Alick lines it for a base hit. That's going to score 1. Sweeney around 3rd. She's going home. Cut off by Bryant. And a 2-run single by the clutchest player in purple.
On Susquehanna. How important was it, guys, to, in the first inning in a championship game, really for the first time in all of your careers, you're in this big game, the winner of this game is going to win the championship. How important was it for the team to get off to such a good start in this game?
I think that we knew we had to come out hot because they were definitely mad about losing the first game. You could see in the video before the girl had her hands on her head. They were all running out to left field. I'm sure their coach ripped into them. So they were coming out also wanting to beat us really bad. So to start out early with runs on the board definitely gave our defense confidence to maybe lay out for balls that you wouldn't have, or dive at balls down the line, stuff like that we wouldn't do if it was a 0-0 game.
As we said, we take the early lead on Susquehanna here, and again, 3-0 lead to start. Just a tremendous start for us. And again, talk about, you see the 2 dots there. Again, another.
And here we are with Jennifer
for our team. Game moves ahead here. We move into the 5th inning. It's 3-1 now. So again, not really a lot has happened. Susquehanna has only added a run to this point.
Who hits one high, deep, forget about that one. Long gone is Jennifer Sweeney's shot to left field.
After a little bit of a lull, Jen, you kickstart the rally.
Continues
with,
to be the driving force of the Royals.
That, apparently went over the announcer's head in the scaffolding area that he was in right field. So we now move ahead to, once again, the 6th inning. 2 outs in the 6th inning. The 6th inning was a huge deal, obviously, for us on this day. And once again, with 2 outs, we put this thing away, as we will watch here momentarily.
And is low for ball 1. 2 down. Seconder feeling the most pressure out of anybody on the field here. And Zinn lines one through the middle for a base hit. Are they going to test her arm? They are. Throw home. It is not in time. They test Bost's arm. And it's now 5-1.
The unfortunate part, if obviously you're facing our team the way Coach Mia has the lineup drawn out, as we've seen throughout all these videos, is Meg, obviously, you come up in a big spot there. But then right behind you, as has been forever, has been Jen, who, as we saw her hit a home run earlier.
Low to the outside. At least Sweeney goes through the middle. Ain't going to hurt you power-wise. Throw to home, not in time. And at second, Sweeney's in.
So we saw there, obviously, we take the big lead. We're up 7-1 going into the 7th inning. So, guys, at that point, when the 3rd out is recorded and you're going back out in the field for the top of the 7th inning, do you pretty much know in your mind that you guys have this, and as long as you do what you have to do in the field and not make any really kind of big mistakes, this is going to be our championship to win basically at this point?
Yeah, I mean, we only needed to get 3 outs, and then that was it. The game was over. But something that we really just stuck by was that we knew that Susquehanna was going to be able to hit off of us because at this point we played each other 6 times in one season. So we knew they were going to hit the ball. So we knew the only way to win was just to make those simple plays that become so important in a high pressure game like this.
All right, and we of course do make those plays, and you'll see here this is going to be the final at bat of the tournament. We are leading 7-2. So like you said, Susquehanna was able to get a run or two on the board before the end of the game, but rally will end here for Susquehanna.
So here we are, Casey Bost. Talked about her yesterday as one of the main players I remember from the Susquehanna team last time when Moravian hosted this last year. We'll see what Bost is able to do as the count's 0-1. That one a little outside, and 1-1 now. Boss back in the box. Dowdell delivers on the off speed, just a little too late on the snap follow through. Left that one high. Here's the 2-1. Bost, ground to second, and the Scranton University Royals have won their first ever Landmark Conference Championship here at Blue and Gray Field. Fantastically done. 7-2 is the final score. Scranton.
Remarkable day, really, for the softball program at Scranton to win 3 games in one day and to win a conference championship. Guys, just kind of describe the feeling of climbing the mountain and doing it probably in the hardest possible way you could do it in one day. But I'll let each of you take it and just kind of go from there. How did it feel to finally win a conference championship for the softball program here at Scranton?
That was definitely a great feeling for us. Again, I feel like we weren't looked at before as a team that could do it. We always came close, but we never actually did it. And I think personally for us to beat 2 teams that we have really good competition with every year, that was something special too. We knew that they knew our strengths. They definitely knew our weaknesses because we weren't seeing the pitches we wanted to see all weekend, I guess. So for us to beat them and they were giving us our weaknesses was even more special, I think.
I would say one of the most memorable moments for me the whole day was just how much fun our team had and how we kind of just gave it everything we had, but we were just so confident. And no matter what happened, if a play didn't go our way or if a call didn't go our way, all of us were still so on top of each other, making sure that we were all okay. And I think that really helped us win those 3 games because that was, like you said, a really, really long day, probably the worst way to do it. But for us, it ended up being the best way. And just finally at the end of the 3rd game, just coming home with that trophy just really meant a lot.
And like Meg was saying, I think it was one of the days that we played and had the most fun that we did. And we played the game we knew how to play. And it was just amazing to see how much how all the hard work that we put in throughout the whole season kind of came together for us. And we finally got the Landmark title. That was our goal and has been our goal for so long.
In particular, here as I turn the share off of the game, Meg Dowdell, you were named the MVP of the entire championship. You had a save in the Moravian game. You had complete game victories in both Susquehanna games to win us the championship. Just kind of describe when they announced that you were the MVP of the entire championship. What was going through your head at that point?
I still wasn't over the fact that we won and the game was over. And I remember they announced my name, and the only thing I really could think of was how I just wouldn't have been in that spot if it wasn't for everyone else in the field making the plays for me and just giving me the confidence and encouragement I needed. It definitely was a full team effort, and they deserve all the credit too.
Yeah, absolutely. So in that championship game, Jen Sweeney, you were 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. You had your 100th career hit during the game, so hit a milestone in that game as well. And then, like I said, Meg Zinn, you were 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Our first Landmark Conference championship, our first NCAA tournament bid since 1983, because winning the conference championship, we made the field since for the first time since 1983. So to end it, guys, just this is obviously a season that you guys will probably never forget. But just one thing that you can kind of pinpoint, whether it was this day when you won 3 games or something else that sticks out from that 2019 season for the University of Scranton softball team.
I think for me, the thing that sticks out is definitely when we won the conference and we all were coming together. But just overall, the progress that we made throughout the season, because there were a few points where we weren't doing as well as we could, but to see how we came back together as a team and overcame like the challenges we faced during season to become championships.
Yeah, there was a point in our season, the weekend actually before the championship, where we were at like a point where if we didn't win the games against Elizabethtown, then we wouldn't have even made it into the playoffs. So I think just thinking of that progress that we made from winning those 2 games on Saturday and then coming back the next weekend and beating the 4th seed and then beating everyone else seated in front of us, that was like a really good moment for me, I would say.
I think for me, it showed a lot of heart as a captain from everybody else. See it in the videos, but more than half of our team was really hurting to the point where we were just numb. Like we haven't 5 games maybe. So for us to do that was really special. And if you want a funny moment, we were at Coach Mia for making us wear the gray pants because the gray Landmark shirt wasn't going to match. So I think we knew going into the day we were going to win because we wanted to wear our white pants, but she insisted on the gray.
All right, and with that, Coach Mia has a very good fashion sense. We all know this. So she was very, very aware of that. So yeah, it was a good omen, I guess, to wear those pants knowing that was the color of the shirt. So so guys, thank you very much. Good luck the rest of the semester. And again, thanks for taking the time out, and good luck the rest of the semester again. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.